Have you ever looked at your Banff itinerary and thought, I'm just not sure this works? That is exactly what we're talking about in this episode. I'm taking you behind the scenes of a real Banff travel consultation, where we look at an itinerary day by day and figure out what fits, what feels too light, what might be too rushed, and where simple swaps can make the whole trip flow better. Welcome back to the Banff Travel Podcast. I'm your host, Celine Brewer, a local Canmore resident living the mountain life all year long. I help travelers like you plan unforgettable trips to Banff, Lake Louise, Moraine Lake, Jasper, and the Canadian Rockies. In this episode, you'll hear the kinds of decisions that come up all the time when people are planning their first trip to Banff. We talk about whether a day is too full or too light, where Yoho fits, whether the Icefields Parkway is worth adding, and how to think about Lake Louise and Moraine Lake shuttle timing, and why the best itinerary is not always the one with the most stops. This is also a good reminder that your Banff trip should still feel like a vacation. You can see incredible places, fit in beautiful hikes and scenic drives, and still leave room for a slow morning coffee and time to actually enjoy where you are. So join me as I talk to two friends and help them plan out their trip.
We've never been to Banff, and this is us just listening to your podcast essentially and trying to pick and choose. But just look at those days. We're not sure if that makes sense.
Okay, so arrive Saturday at 2 o'clock. So does your flight land at 2?
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, so you're probably just really looking at dinner and then maybe a walk around that night. Then on Sunday, so Tunnel Mountain hike. So basically just around the town of Banff. Yes, you're going to go up the Banff gondola, maybe drive or walk Vermilion Lakes Road. You've already seen Bow Falls possibly the night before if you guys decide to go there. Tunnel Mountain hike is a great first hike in the town of Banff, just from get kind of that overview of everything there. Okay, and then Monday, Bow Valley Parkway with Johnson Canyon and Lake Minnewanka boat tour. Yep, probably a day for Yoho. Couple of questions. Hiking. How much hiking do you guys want to do?
Not strenuous 15-mile hikes.
Couple mile hikes. I don't want to spend my whole day on one hike.
Yeah, like maybe a couple hours here or there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this, so let's just go through that. So the boat tour is an option. You guys like the Banff gondola. Lake Louise, you guys are going to hike to the tea house. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
That's what we think.
Okay. So you have a 1 o'clock Parks Canada shuttle
Because
there?
we're traveling that day too. Like we check out our one hotel and then we get checked into our other hotel. That's
Okay.
not.
So where are you guys staying are you staying in Lake Louise?
Yes.
Wednesday too light.
Is the what? Sorry?
Wednesday too light.
Like not enough thing.
Well, so what I was actually going to suggest as I was looking at this was, because Yoho National Park, you guys only have like Tucka Falls, Emerald Lake, and Natural Bridge. I was going to say you could probably do those in the morning if you guys wanted to get up early and then return to Lake Louise for your shuttle because you're driving all that way anyways. Because Tucka Falls and Emerald Lake, depending on if you're going to do the full hike around Emerald Lake, if that's what you guys want to do, then that's a different story. If you're just going to go and see the lake and then want to add that to your tea house, then there's perhaps some other things that we could add on as well. So
how long is the Emerald Lake loop?
It's roughly 5 kilometers. So
okay,
Emerald Lake and Yoho.
Emerald Lake is in Yoho, so it's roughly about like 30 minutes past Lake Louise. So that's why I was like, well, you're already heading that way. You already have that whole morning. I would probably recommend going early anyways, just because the parking at Emerald Lake can get pretty busy and Tucka Falls can also get busy. So it's really nice to enjoy those earlier in the morning before, parking gets too bad. So even as an example, if you were like, let me just throw this out there. If you left at 7 in the morning and you were at Tucka Falls by 8 o'clock, that's probably going to take you like maybe an hour. So, 9:30 by the time you get to Emerald Lake, you'd probably still have like a good hour or so at Emerald Lake before you had to get to your Parks Canada shuttle. So that's kind of, that might be pushing it a little bit, but that's just kind of an idea of what you guys could do. So just trying to like not pack things in, but also think about where some of these places are.
Right. That's what we needed help with. Just
Yeah.
So you're saying on Wednesday, go into Yoho and do those things and go to Lake Louise.
I'm saying it's an option because you're not even getting to Lake Louise until like 1:30, right? Like you don't even need to be at the ski resort until anytime between 1 and 2 o'clock with your Parks Canada shuttle. Alternatively, we could do something else. We could do, you know what? You could go to Marble Canyon in Kootenay National Park on the way to Lake Louise. That would be a less, if you want to do the Emerald Lake Loop, it would be a shorter hike, so it might work better. It's also on the way, so that could be another option for something to add in. Marble Canyon is quite beautiful. It's like probably a mile to a mile and a half around. It would be a worthwhile short little hike before you guys went. You would have time to grab some lunch in Lake Louise, potentially do the gondola if you wanted to before or after, so that could be a way to just add a little bit more than just that hike that day.
Okay.
Let's see. So if you did Marble Canyon and then possibly the Lake Louise gondola, how does that sound to you?
I think we're already doing the Banff gondola and one's enough.
Yeah. You don't want to do another one. Yep. Totally. No, you know what?
That's what I think. Yeah.
I love that. Like, just say it. I like when people are like, nope, don't want to do that. I totally agree. The other thing about the Lake Louise gondola is you guys don't need to decide in advance. It's not something you need to book in advance. If you were there catching your shuttle and you're like, yeah, you know what? Let's go check it out. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. It's optional. Just know that it's there because you're going to the ski resort anyways. And that's where it is. So,
okay.
Okay. So then you're going to catch your Parks Canada shuttle to Moraine Lake on Thursday. We can go back to the previous days before, but let's just keep going in this area.
Now,
so 11 a.m. Yep, go ahead.
She's getting up Thursday morning and doing the 4 a.m. thing.
Okay, you're going for sunrise shuttle.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but the rest of us did not want to do that.
Yep.
So we kind of thought she would come back.
Yeah.
And join us. That's why that one's a little bit later in the day because we wanted to give her time to come back and do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
What do the rest of you want to do that morning? Do you just want to hang out? Do you want to just like have a nice coffee? Maybe like nice walk along the river or something?
Yeah, we'll just wait for her and look around and yeah.
Because you're basically just going to go up there for sunrise. Do you mind me asking who you're going with?
I have a Parks Canada shuttle pass at 4 a.m.
Oh, you have the Alpine start. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have the Alpines, but I do have a question about that because I know sunrise isn't until like 7.
Yes.
So that's what I really want to do. I might change my mind and get, a private shuttle.
Yeah.
Later. But if I were to go at 4, I'm sure I won't be there by myself and I'll get to, would you say it'll still be lovely to slowly watch the sunrise or is that just a lot?
I think that's a long time to be sitting there.
Okay. Then I'll do something.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I haven't confirmed if you're like, I always double check what the sunrise times are. If you're saying at 7 a.m., I trust that you've looked at it, but if you're there by 4:30, that's 2.5 hours of sitting there.
In the dark. Okay.
At least 2 hours in the dark. I don't think that's a good use of your time, even from having to get up early and then the rest of your day. Also, you're going to be dealing with having had to get up at, 3 a.m. to do that.
Okay.
It's also going to cost you like $42 just to park at Lake Louise. So yes, it's more expensive to go with one of the commercial shuttle operators, but you're probably talking about like an extra $50.
Okay. Then I'll work on that. Okay.
Moraine Lake Bus Company, they leave right from Samson Mall there. They'll pick you up, take you up there.
Okay.
and you can decide what time you want to come back at.
Then when she
So,
does it, it's going to be a whole bus full of people and she's going to be safe and
yes, exactly.
she's not going
Just
to be
gonna,
sitting out. Yeah. Not going to be by
yes.
herself in the woods.
At least the Moraine Lake Bus Company will adjust their times on when they go up there for like getting you there roughly 45 minutes before sunrise so you can see that.
That'll be
So,
great. Okay.
yeah. Yes. Okay. So, and then when you guys go back to Moraine Lake, are you going to walk the lakeshore, potentially canoe, go up the rock pile, all of those things?
We're going to do all the things you just said. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So,
But
and
that's enough.
yeah,
And I'd like to kayak and not canoe. No.
no, they only rent canoes. Unfortunately, the only places that you can rent kayaks are at Lake Minnewanka. You can rent a kayak there, or the Banff Canoe Club. So right in the town of Banff on the Bow River, you can rent canoes or kayaks, which is it's really lovely. So I would maybe put that down as an option as well. If you guys feel like, on your Sunday when you're there around town, you have some extra time, that could be really nice, is to go for a canoe or a kayak or whatever people feel like.
Really,
So I mean,
what we're going to do at Moraine Lake when we get there at 11. We don't
you
really
do,
have to.
yeah. So I would go up to the rock pile, all of you, and see the view of Moraine Lake. And then a couple of options. You can do a short hike to Constellation Lakes. So that is an option. Again, you guys don't need to decide in advance. You can see how you're all feeling. Highly recommend bear spray if you're going to do that one. You are traveling in a group, which is a good thing. Because, that's a known grizzly bear area within there. But you can walk the Lakeshore Trail, which is absolutely beautiful, just to the back of the lake. Go up the rock pile. You guys can canoe if anybody wants to do that. There are other longer hikes, but given the time that you guys are getting there, I'd say Constellation Lakes is a good choice if you want to do an actual hike there as well.
Okay.
So then you guys will go up, spend the better part of the afternoon at Moraine Lake. Take your time, and then, anything else that day, or does that feel like probably going to be enough? I think our sunrise girl is probably going to be done come dinner time.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, like my husband still gets up every morning and goes to work. So he doesn't really want to get up at 7 a.m. every day and run.
Fair.
He
Yeah.
wants it to feel like a vacation.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. And go out and do some stuff and then have a nice dinner and, take
Have
it
a few
easy.
drinks and,
Yeah.
walk
Totally.
around, but not hike up a mountain.
Totally. I absolutely get that. Okay.
Okay. So looking at this, we will never come back to Banff again, probably.
Oh, you might.
So we might get there, but we have so many places we want to see in the world. So
Fair enough.
Okay. So the ice fields, all we keep
Yes.
hearing is how magical they are. Looking at being here when we're here, is there any time that you think, okay, Friday, we don't have anything but driving back to Calgary? I don't know where the ice fields fit in geographically. Is there any time that should we try to fit it in? What do you think?
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that. You could do it on the Tuesday, drive as far as you want to go, however everybody feels like, and then come back to Banff. And then even on that Friday, also because you are in Lake Louise and back to that Yoho being right there, you could do
it's right
Yoho National
there.
Park, right? Because it's really close to Lake Louise and you guys are waking up in Lake Louise.
Oh, so Friday we should do Yoho, and
What?
Tuesday we should switch those. And Tuesday we should do the Icefields, and then before we leave, we should go into Yoho and walk around some, and then head to
Yeah.
Calgary.
It just saves you, and then you're
Okay, that's
not
what
like,
we
oh my God, we have to drive like that extra hour back to Calgary from the Icefields Parkway, where you already have a huge day of driving. Plus, it puts you midweek when most people should be back to school and back to things. So that's it's a suggestion that I think would work well.
Okay, let me ask you, do you recommend that boat tour in Lake Minnewanka? Is it nice?
I think my personal opinion, I quite enjoy it. I think it is interesting. I think the area is interesting. They also do a beer cruise for those of you who like to have a few drinks at the end of the day. So you could also do it at like 5 p.m. and do it as like your last thing and enjoy like a beer, have a couple of beer, enjoy the boat cruise, enjoy the stories. I think it's well worth it. I think the history of Lake Minnewanka is super interesting. So yeah,
Great.
How far a drive is it from Lake
it is
Minnewanka to get back to
super
my home?
close.
Super close.
Super
Okay.
close. You guys, if everybody wanted to take, have a few drinks, you could also take the bus and not worry about parking. That's an
Okay.
option. Yep.
What bus?
So there's a couple of different options. The Rome Transit bus from town. So Rome Transit is the public bus system. And so there is one that goes out to Lake Minnewanka. So you could potentially do that. I believe Pursuit, who runs the Banff Gondola and the boat cruise, is doing a Lake Minnewanka shuttle. I just don't know the details of where it starts.
Okay.
So I can get you that information. I just off the top of my head, I don't know what because that's new this year. And there's always new stuff every year. So I will get you that. Again, you guys don't need to decide that in advance, but just know that that is an option.
Okay. Okay.
Does the 5 p.m. boat cruise sound like something that would interest you guys? Yes.
Yes, for sure. That sounds wonderful. We were thinking about the beer cruise, so that'll be great since it's so close.
And if
Yeah.
we were to kayak, should we kayak at Lake Minnewanka or should we go to Bow River?
So the problem with Lake Minnewanka, though you can kayak there, and again, I don't know your history, but it can get very, very windy. So I would probably recommend that only for strong paddlers. And then that makes it difficult of like, well, do we go kayak there and then do the boat cruise as well? Or do you maybe kayak on the river instead and have like the best of both worlds?
Okay. Let me see.
I love your podcast. It has been
Thank
so
you.
helpful. You're such a good narrator, and you.
Oh, thank you.
Share it with your time. So thank you so much. This has helped us so much, really.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. So why don't I put the email together? Did you guys have any other questions though?
Bear spray. Our hotel in Banff says they will have it there and that
Nice.
you can borrow it,
Yep.
but not the Lake Louise.
It seems a bit silly to go buy it for your final 2 days, but you know what I mean? It is good to have, but you might as well just buy it in Banff if that's going to be the case and just have your own and not worry about having to borrow or return to the hotel every time. Yeah, I would probably just buy a can of bear spray in Banff at one of the sports stores and save yourself the time when you go to Lake Louise. Most of the sports stores will sell it. Your other option would be to potentially rent it, but then you still have the hassle of going to return it when you go back, right? Like on your last day, you'd have to be like, oh, we need to stop in Banff and return this. So
Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you. This has really been.
Yeah, thank you so much.
no problem. So I should have this email. I'm hoping tomorrow, but you'll get it. You read through it. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. I hope this episode gave you a better sense of how much strategy can go into a Banff itinerary, and also how much easier it can feel once you start looking at the days by location, timing, and the kind of trip you actually want. Sometimes the best change is not adding more. It might be moving Yoho to the day you're already waking up in Lake Louise. It might be saving the Icefields Parkway for a day when you're not also driving back to Calgary. It might be letting one gondola be enough, choosing a shorter hike, or deciding that a slow morning is exactly what your group needs. That is the kind of planning I love helping with, because Banff is not just about checking off Lake Louise, Moraine Lake, Johnston Canyon, and the gondola. It's about creating a trip that makes sense for your group, your travel style, and the time you actually have. If you want help making those decisions for your own trip, you can book a travel consultation with me. If you've already done a lot of the planning and just want a review, I've started doing 15-minute itinerary reviews. Since they're brand new and I'm still testing them, I don't have them added to my pages yet. If this is something that interests you, please send me an email at info@banfftravelplanning.com and I'll share all the details on how they work. If you're just starting your trip planning, this is an ideal time to join my Banff and Jasper Planning Hub. I already have pre-built itineraries from active to sightseeing. that will save you a ton of research. Not only that, but you'll find my planning workshops, guides, and shuttle help, plus live Q&A support all in one place. Thank you so much for listening to the Banff Travel Podcast. If this episode helped you, make sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, happy trip planning, and I'll see you out on the trails.